Okay, so I don't know if you can see me, but I've basically just woken up, literally and metaphysically. Oh, don't mind me. I'm coming through. I'm coming through. Okay. What I wanted to say is good morning, first of all. And the second thing I wanted to say is that as I'm waking up, I'm realizing the world around me is crumbling. This world is in dire states right now, huh? So much going on, especially when it comes to what's going on in Palestine. And so, about that, first of all, I stick with indigenous people all over the world against colonization. Period, point blank, add another period on the end of that sentence. Now, there are a lot of people who are quote unquote black saying that they do not support this war of Hamas against Israel. And it's like, so you're literally siding with the same regime that oppressed your family, your ancestors. You're siding with them now that it's someone else's land. Do you know how stupid, how ridiculous, how disappointed your ancestors are that you're siding with their enslavers, the people that murdered your people? Oh, a lot of people don't realize that when they said they've been fighting for generations over in Gaza, yeah, they've been fighting for the amount of generations that your grandmother's been alive. That's like 75 years, yo. A little over 75 years. Meanwhile, the people who are Palestinian and have been living in that region, have been living there for hundreds of thousands of years. Sure, they immigrated too at some point. Everybody migrated due to ecological reasons, right? Like the climate change, the climate has always been changing. Like men make it worse because we, bring all these man-made chemicals and products to be manufactured on Earth, but like we're making climate change worse. The corporations are making climate change worse, not individual man and humanity. Like there's a difference, okay? But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. I stand with Palestine, the Palestinians, and people native to North America and the United States, the original natives, the original First Nations, will always stand with other indigenous people around the world. And if you don't, you need to do some research behind why this clash is so important and why the United States is supporting it. This land was designated as a spoil of war to these Israeli war criminals. That's right, I said war criminals, because they've gone over there and they've done nothing but create genocide and war on a land that does not belong to them, that is not protected by them, that is not coveted by God for them. No matter who says. So they can pray as much as they want at that wall. God is not going to answer them. Why? Because they're killing the original indigenous people of the land. They're not indigenous to that land. And that's the thing that a lot of people in America here don't understand either. And why I don't want these FBA, FBA, First Black Americans, and the other reparations movement. Why? This is why you will never succeed as well. Because you're not putting your mouth and your actions behind the deeds of God's people and on behalf of God's people. That's why they had to kill Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, because they understood that that after a point you could no longer work with the colonizers. You could not work with the oppressors to continue to oppress your own people. And that's why all of these quote-unquote Black American celebrities, they're in hell. They literally live in hell every day because they're taking that money for momentary gains to survive, and they're not doing anything to pay it forward within the Black community to the indigenous people of America, to the indigenous people of this land that they're profiting on. They're not paying homage to the gods that were here. Oh yes. Oh yes, you can put Jesus on the land all you want, but Jesus was a person who became an ascended master, who told you to follow in his footsteps to become an ascended master, not to worship him as a god. And because people don't understand that, they don't understand why this fight in Israel and Palestine is an extension of the American experiment. And the benefactor of the American experiment and this Israel experiment, because this is their second experiment in colonization with modern technologies. All right? Created, established through treaties. Treaties don't have a covenant with the land. Treaties are made through the spoils of war by the people that create history, not by the people who have heritage. And if you don't understand the difference in that, then you need to make friends with your dictionary. But I'll put the definitions here somewhere. But we stand with Palestine, and all the Palestinian people. And we will always, if you're FBA and you're supporting these reparation movements, don't come to me next year saying you want reparations, but you don't have a voice for this fight. And you just sit by and watch this genocide happening for the last, I don't know, I guess since we've been alive. They are killing children, millions of children, telling them, hey, take this route. It's safe, only so that they can bomb it. The colonizers are colonizing right now in front of your eyes on TikTok. Stop supporting the white supremacists and the people who gain more power by being affiliated with this colonization state of Israel. God bless you and God bless the Palestinian people, and may the goddess of Mother Earth continue to bless us all with her generosity while we destroy her body with this greed over nothing, really, nothingness. We should love